Hello everyone, I'm Zahid from Talks at Innovation Valley, and today we have a very amazing and talented guest with us, Myladie Stoumbou. First, I would love to introduce my guest. Myladie Stoumbou is an experienced digital executive, leader, and strategist. She specializes in building and transforming global and diverse high performance teams, as well as in assisting businesses to leverage opportunities from fourth industrial revolution and current exponential technologies. She has worn many hats in her professional career, started as systems engineer and programmer, developing into a digital technology and innovation evangelist, and later into a regional executive. She has been working in multinational environments for many years and has a unique ability to manage multidisciplinary projects, to navigate non standard challenges, and to solve complex problems. She is currently working as regional director for Microsoft, and she goes beyond that. She supports digital entrepreneurship as a mentor for MIT Enterprise Forum in Greece, the People's Trust, and Microsoft for Startups Founder Hub. She is a women leadership advocate, chair of Women in Business Committee for Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, and a mentor for Women Leadership Program in European Innovation Council. She is an international keynote speaker addressing topics like leadership, future of work, diversity and inclusion, artificial intelligence, and digital entrepreneurship. She has two TEDx talks, and she is the author of many articles on LinkedIn as well as many prestigious sites, including HuffPost. Really amazing introduction, Lady Stoumbou. I really warm welcome you to the show, and I'm feeling honored to have you on my show.
Thank you, Zahid. It's an honor for me as well to be with you today. Looking forward to our conversation.
You're welcome, Milady. Milady, first of all, before we jump to the questions list and topic, I would love my audience to know about your story, about your life story, your education story, your professional journey. I mean, where you got your schooling, college, and university education, then when you started your first job, and until now, how was all this entrepreneurial and inspirational journey?
Yeah. Yes, I think you said a lot during, of course. I started from a small. I was born in a small town in Western Greece, so I'm Greek, and I live in Greece right now. I'm broadcasting today from Athens, Greece. So I started in a small town. I was born in a small town in Western Greece, and during the late 80s, I decided that I want to try something new that was emerging at that time in region. It was not very advanced region, as you understand. So I decided to go for computer engineering studies. Okay, that was like the for me, I was super excited by the unknown, but also by the potential that the new technologies were bringing. So I studied in Greece. I got an engineering degree in computer and information technology. At the time, those were the early days of internet. We didn't have mobile phones back then. We were not so much connected. So I learned a lot about algorithms. I learned a lot about programming. I learned about the illusion of artificial intelligence. And I'm talking about this now. We will discuss the evolution of artificial intelligence later on. After studies, I decided to go for a career in the industry. I had to move to bigger cities, so I moved to Athens. And in the years that passed, I did a lot of different roles, and I wore so many hats in my professional career. I started as an engineer. I worked as a project manager. I did business development, and I evolved into a leader and a regional leader, actually, working with corporations, working with startups, working with Greek and multinational companies. I did also an MBA down the road, and now I'm leading Microsoft innovation, I would say, ecosystem as a partner development director, ISVs, digital natives, and startups for 109 countries, a region that we call CEMA, Central Eastern Europe, Southeast Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's a territory, a lot of innovation happening in this region, a lot of talent, a lot of ambitious entrepreneurs that are emerging from these markets, aiming to develop innovations in our region, but expanding this to the world and selling globally. So I work with innovators every day, and I'm very excited about the living and the changes that are happening in the technology landscape, but also in the entrepreneurship landscape. One last thing before we get into the main points of our discussion. I studied engineering when there were very few women studying in the field, and during my career, I was always part of a small and silent minority. So I also developed a passion about supporting diversity and inclusion in the tech industry. One of the two TED Talks I have to do with women in tech and how we need to support more women in tech, especially important these days where artificial intelligence and the emergence of these new technologies are bringing new types of bias or even enhancing existing bias in our system. So I developed also a side, let's say, project to do with supporting women in tech and supporting and developing and nurturing, coaching and mentoring women leaders of the future.
Super amazing, Milady. So I'm excited to kick off our today's topic, which is AI and disruptive innovations.
Mhm.
So, Milady, my first question is, can you provide a brief overview of what disruptive innovation means in the context of AI?
Yeah. First of all, we talk about innovation, we usually think disruption. Okay. I want to say innovation is not always disruptive. Okay. Some innovations are really coming to enhance existing services and existing products. So it's great to have innovation going. When we talk about disruptive innovation, I would borrow, let's say, the term from Clayton Christensen. Clayton Christensen was a renowned academic. He wrote a famous book that is called The Innovator's Dilemma. And, and he talks about disruptive innovation as the development of new product services that significantly alter existing markets, existing industries, even business models. So when we talk about disruptive innovation, we talk about massive change. We talk about solutions that bring sometimes different but also cheaper or more accessible alternatives to already established services. Now, if we put also the AI lens into that discussion, then we can, if we look around us, we will see that the companies who disrupted industries and markets through AI had certain characteristics. First of all, they had a low barrier to entry, if I may say. So they focused on a very small niche. They focused on segment or an area that was underserved, okay, where established companies would not go because they did not represent a massive opportunity for them. They started with something very small. Then they started improving very fast. So rapid improvement, accelerated improvement was also a characteristic. Oh, they started with something small, something on the side that had, however, potential for rapid improvement. And then they started closing the gap to the established pretty fast. So they ended in under outperforming, let's say, already established solutions. They also addressed customer needs in a very specific way. Okay, so would find it easier, more attractive, more modern those solutions. So they started interacting with customers in a different way. So customer demand also changed. Customer expectations changed because customer experience was different. And of course, they developed new business models. And these AI technologies allowed this, gave the opportunity and the possibility business models that did not, that was not available before. So in the end, what happened? It challenged the status quo. It challenged the established. It created opportunities for new collaborations and new partnerships, or the change in the leadership in that industry. So after certain, we can give names here that are like case studies for the business schools today, right? That then these companies are becoming leader now in their fields and leaving the established players or the traditional players, let's say, behind.
All right. Milady, how has AI already disrupted traditional industries, and what are some notable examples?
Yeah, I have many examples from different industries today that really have been disrupted through the use of AI. We could talk, for example, about healthcare. Healthcare is an area, an industry where AI plays a critical role in more accurate diagnosis, for example. Okay, a machine is able to make a diagnosis or to recommend, to be very accurate, a diagnosis using much more data than a regular doctor has, supporting a doctor into making a diagnosis. And in healthcare, patient care can also be optimized. Drug invention and drug discovery can also be, and development, of course, can be optimized. We have partnerships in Microsoft, like with Epic, for example, a company really increased productivity and enhanced patient care, and improved financial performance of the healthcare sector, leveraging AI. Another area is retail and e-commerce. We all are familiar with e-commerce. We know we have used the recommendation engine versus our own preferences, but also profiles of users like us with recommendations for potential purchases. We get personalized content. We get chats, and we interact with the vendors, with the suppliers in a way, a much more human, understandable way. Retail is also an area that has been revolutionized by AI. Manufacturing, very very big impact AI. Leveraging robotics, but also optimizing and automating the whole logistics, the whole production, but also the whole manufacturing process, optimizing it, reducing labor cost, driving precision, driving consistency, driving quality, increasing the efficiency of the sector. Financial services, very important, field for AI, from prevention and detection to getting into personalized financial services. So having all of us a personalized advisor on where to invest. This is now the trend. A lot of companies emerge that are offering personalized investment options, but also customer service has been revolutionized in financial services. Trading and algorithmic trading is all something that is happening at scale today. Transportation and logistics is an area we will see a lot more happening in the future. Mercedes-Benz has leveraged our own technology to really try the in-car experience. So a driver will have now the opportunity to interact with the car voice, with natural language, apart from asking questions, having contextual discussion, etc., they would be able also to interact with third-party services like, can you book me a dinner table at my favorite restaurant, or tickets for tonight that I go with my family? This is coming. Not to mention, of course, the autonomous vehicles, both on the car side, but also on side, that is becoming a lot of tests are happening in that space, and it's an area where we will see a lot more coming in the future. I could go on and on. I want to mention one area that for me, with the emergence of AI, will be significantly changed in the future, and that's entertainment and media. Okay, with the ability to generate content, we will see a lot more of transformation happening in the entertainment industry. We will see creation, digital creation. We will see digital creation of text. We will see news articles that will be AI generated. So not only recommendation engines like Netflix, etc., but we will have a lot more content that will be digitally generated, aimed to address the specific audience. NBA, for example, creates personalized highlights for every fan. Okay, so my preferences, whether I am a fan of Yanni Antetokounmpo, which is a Greek American NBA player, and then I get highlights of the matches because I really like Yanni type of play. Okay, so entertainment is now getting a lot of attention because of the generative AI revolution.
Very interesting. All right. What potential disruptive innovation in AI do you foresee in the near future?
I just talked about generative AI and the creation of content. All these adversarial networks have the potential to create to create content for art, for music, for entertainment, for news. So that's a major disruption. Another disruptive innovation has to do with what we call explainable AI, which is becoming a lot asked over the past months, because the AI algorithms are becoming more and more complex. And as we rely more and more in the recommendations of AI, need to have clarity on how the AI is making decisions. Okay, so AI algorithms need to provide some transparency, need to provide some information and guides on the decision-making processes. There's a growing need there for that accountability and transparency, especially for sectors who are very tough on regulation, like health, like finance and law, for example. Okay, and area of convergence, another area of disruption could be convergence between computing and AI. If we could get a synergy between the research that is happening in quantum computing and AI today, then we could have this disruptive in solving complex problems for the humanity, not only for business, also to address complex problems that are currently, challenging humanity. Then for me, education is an area where we expect to see a lot of AI enhancements, especially in the areas of personalized learning. Okay, imagine if every student would have a personalized tutor on the side, right? Somebody who would be able to coach them and teach them their own particular needs based on their own specific, learning patterns or habits, etc. That could also make a huge impact in the way we learn and in the way that the new generation is learning. And then, of course, talking about climate, with the big climate crisis we're currently in. Actually, the last days here in Greece, where I stayed, we have massive wildfires. I think tackling environmental challenges, to optimize resource usage, to optimize predict climate patterns, to develop cleaner technologies, to cater for carbon, to cater for renewable energy, and to model the climate and support this big cause of, supporting our planet. I think an area where we will see a lot of disruption in the future.
All right. Uh, how do you see the future of manufacturing industry production? Uh, you know, in view of the AI, generative AI, and other emerging technologies. Because when emerging technologies will catch all this AI and AI, generative AI, then there would be a lot of disruption in the whole manufacturing processes and across industry. How do you see this?
Yes, I think we already see manufacturing is an industry that started quite fast. Okay, the tests on AI started because I would say the returns are pretty big. Okay, manufacturing industry is looking to optimize costs, optimize production, and to optimize costs because companies want to be competitive. So in order to be competitive, they need to be technologically savvy, okay, to be at the front of technology advancement, and they need to optimize costs. So we see now a lot of that happening into the manufacturing industry. AI-powered robots, automation systems are already at work in the big plants. Robots are equipped with a computer vision. They're equipped with machine learning algorithms. They can perform complex tasks with precision. They can be consistent in the quality of the work they deliver. And in that way, they reduce the labor costs and they are increasing the production efficiency. We have a lot of companies, whether it's in automotive or in other areas, that they have automated their assemblies to perform tasks like quality control and product testing in an efficient way. It is there in the manufacturing industry. It's not coming, it's already in use.
So do you think it would make already there is a huge automation, but do you think that because of the major innovations in AI and the more things, there would be now hyper automation?
That's a good question. The hyper automation or the over reliance, I would say, on AI. Okay. This is a big ethical question of the time. I think, and it's not only in manufacturing. I would say it will come eventually. This question will come eventually in fields. Okay. How far should we go with AI? How much should we rely on AI making the job for us? And I think the the industry should make a decision to find the balance. Okay, to find the balance between what AI is accountable for and what humans are accountable for. In Microsoft, we believe at least, and I'm a firm believer to that. It's my company's mantra, but it's also my own personal belief aligned here. That AI should be augmenting the human capability. Okay, it should be a co-pilot. We name our products, our AI product pilot. It should be a co-pilot for the employee, for working at the company, because we should not rely entirely on AI technology. There are a lot of ethical implications that currently not been addressed, and we need to cater for before saying that we should go too far with AI, right? Yes, it's a big question. The whole industry is really discussing this right now. I think the authorities are starting also to prepare for that, because what happens is technology runs, it accelerates very fast. You cannot stop it, even if you decide to stop generative AI like Italy did, but you cannot stop the progress, right? Seen that in previous industrial revolutions. Uh, Regulators needs to run as well, okay? Because we need the balance between technology progress and ethical considerations on the other side. I hope I
Oh,
answered.
yeah, exactly. Uh, in fact, let me tell you some interesting thing. I saw few of the videos from where Elon Musk and Sam Altman, both guys are very crazy on technology. So I listened them saying AI is more than dangerous. So how do you see such statements from the global tech leaders like Elon Musk and Sam Altman?
I think, first of all, I respect that a leader like Sam Altman, for example, is putting ethical considerations at the center of the discussion. Okay, and I'm talking about Sam Altman because OpenAI has been at the forefront of the generative AI revolution. Okay, so really respect. Um, I do believe that every technology can be a tool and a weapon, right, at the same time. And it's in us, the humanity, to really collaborate because it requires collaboration in order to use as a tool that would support the great causes we discussed earlier, like education, like climate, etc., climate crisis, etc. So I think it's super important that we raise the importance of the ethical discussion, that we have this conversation as an industry, and it's super important that the leaders of this revolution are not people outside of that, but the people who are developing these technologies today are raising this topic. I am, and I tend to be an optimist. In the history of humanity, we managed to develop a lot of dangerous technologies, if I may say dangerous. But we moved forward. We moved forward because we use those technologies for the greater good, for progressing, and for creating good things in this world. So I do believe that with the collaboration between nations, between companies, industry, governments, education, we all need to collaborate and to partner because in order to make sure that we put the rules of the game so humanity is not suffering from AI, but is augmented. Our capabilities are augmented. The future is brighter, is a better world. We get a better world through AI.
All right. Uh, Milady, what is called AI driven creative destruction? And how do you see its impact on businesses?
So creative distraction is a very is a paradox, right? Creative distraction. So when we something, we usually create something new, but we do not distract something, right? I think here what you're trying to say is that we leverage AI, we create innovations, and these innovations are so important, so big, so visible, so promising that, in a sense, they bring a decline or even elimination of previous innovations or previous business models, etc. So yes, AI, in a sense, has the capacity to create this creative disruption because it breaks a lot of things. Okay, first of all, it breaks traditional business models. Okay, new ways of doing this, new ways of acquiring money. Okay, new ways for companies to make money. So companies need to adapt to that. We have seen that with previous innovations before. Okay, the Kodak example with the digital photography is a common business school case, right? So yes, They can break business models. AI has the capability to break traditional business models. It creates new competition, and it creates a super fast competition because things are changing rapidly. Okay, we're talking about very short cycles of innovation, and the competitive dynamics can be massive here. That would mean that companies that are today leaders in a few years will not be leaders anymore if they fail to adapt. Okay, so competitive dynamics is also something that could suffer from this creative disruption. Product service innovation, I think, creating new products and then some products become obsolete. That has been, of course, something that we have over the years, but also the way that AI has the ability to redefine customer experience. That's also something that we are seeing. We are seeing and has the capability of creative distraction, because it develops new expectations for the customers. Okay, from aware systems, for example, and context aware interactions with AI systems, that then old school, let's say, interactions become obsolete. So yeah, there's a lot of potential for distraction and recreation, I would say.
All right. How can businesses adapt to the rapid changes brought about by AI disruption? As you mentioned, speed is too much. I mean, let me say that the world is changing every nanosecond, and the technologies are giving, everyday technology is giving a new surprise.
Yes.
So, how business leaders can adapt these rapid changes so fast?
Well, first of all, we don't have the luxury of staying stagnant, okay? We don't have the luxury of keeping status quo. What brought us here won't get us there, right? In the new world of AI innovation, companies need to be agile, okay? And I believe that one way of being agile, first of all, is understanding the landscape, understanding winning, understanding what what new technologies are emerging and how these impact your own customers. Okay, I would say it starts with the customer. If you understand well your customer, the famous KYC, know your customer, and you understand how their needs are evolving, and at the same time you have a good understanding of the technology landscape and the innovations that technology brings, then you have the opportunity uh, to also adjust and adapt in this new reality. I think there is also a matter of leadership and strategy and vision. Okay, many times we discuss about company mission statements, whether these statements are having a relevance into so much of things changing around us, etc. But if in your mission statement is, for example, how to help your customers be more effective, okay, or more, I don't know, happy or what, then your strategy needs to evolve as well in order to adapt into the changing landscape. And I would say, especially for established business, it's important to start some pilots. Okay, what we see today, I will Gartner research, we see that with AI, we see the big guys, the big companies already started. The top companies, worldwide companies, the top brands across industries, they already started piloting projects and developing new solutions and services for their customers. We also see the very small ones, usually that's AI startups, okay, or small startups who are more agile. They go after new technologies much more, much faster than the big companies. They already did. And in the middle, there's a big group of companies in the middle space that are silent, right? They are stagnant. They don't move. I would encourage these leaders to really start doing small pilots. I would encourage them to train their people, to really help their people learn. There's so much abundance of learning opportunities today. And to also support an innovation culture into their company, okay? To really encourage the people to experiment, encourage the people to try, encourage the people to learn, and okay if people fail as well, because when you try new things, not all the efforts will be successful. So I think it starts with, of course, leadership. Always it starts with leadership. Leadership has to do with strategy and vision for your customer, but also requires education. It requires testing. It requires also um, a culture of transformation and innovation within the organization.
All right. Uh, Milady, what are the ethical considerations we should keep in mind when discussing AI driven disruption? Especially, as you mentioned, humanity is the center of everything. Humans are the center of everything.
Yes.
So the people are attached with the companies for the jobs and for the financial reasons as well. So when AI will, go into hyper automation, for sure the companies would be bringing more machines and more technologies, and there will be less employees.
Mhm.
So what about all the unemployment and the people that would be laid off? So all those layoffs, also, and the concerns about the data privacy. So I guess data privacy and the unemployment due to technology, these are the two major ethical considerations. So what is your perspective on this, and what is the solution actually?
The ethical considerations are quite many. Okay, and especially I would add a third one with the generative AI, intellectual property as well becomes also an ethical challenge. So look, let me start first of all with the unemployment, because I think this is an area where a lot of people are in fear, and there's a lot of anxiety around this. It is true that in every industrial revolution that the humanity has been through, there were jobs that were lost. At the same time, there were other jobs that were created. We expect the same with AI. So yes, the automation will definitely eliminate some jobs that had to do with repetitive tasks, but there will be new jobs created, like data scientists, for example. There's a mass for data scientists right now. Okay, so there are new jobs that will be created as part of the AI revolution, if I may say. Actually, there is a nice study from the World Economic Forum that shows that for every 1 million of jobs that will be lost due to AI, 1.5 million will be created. So there is an opportunity. Okay, there is an opportunity for jobs. However, we, companies and governments, do have a responsibility to really support the people to gain the skills they need in order to be successful, because the jobs will be different. They will require different skills. Okay, so there is a responsibility in the industry, in the community, a societal, I would say, responsibility to reskill, upskill, and reskill the employees. Okay, it's super important that we do this now, and we don't risk a new divide, right? Between people who are like proficient with new technologies and people who are left behind because they don't understand these technologies. So, in a nutshell, on the job, there will be new jobs created, but will be different jobs, and we need to cater for the skills needed by people so that the people can adjust. Um, on the privacy and the other ethical concerns. Sure, there are a lot of considerations. The new technologies should protect and respect private information. Okay, they should provide all the security capabilities and all the security mechanisms to protect private information. There's also need for algorithms, AI algorithms, and AI decision-making processes that will be fair to the people and will not have any biases. Okay, we've seen that happening with some first examples of AI adoption. We need the AI decision-making process to not propagate and enhance existing in the data. So we have also, as a community, the responsibility here to audit the AI make decisions. Accountability, responsibility, we discuss transparency and explainability. These are also ethical considerations relevant to the AI systems. And actually, as I said before, the industry is really thinking about those. The governments also started discussing those things. For example, is preparing this AI Act that will be end of this year, and we know that EU is very strict on the regulation. So it's like mandatory to follow the regulation. In US, there is guidance, but they're not a strict regulation. It's mostly of a recommendation. I think you pay to buy, Zahid, correct?
I agree.
The
Correct.
UAE government, I was reading that the UAE government actually issued a guide about AI systems and ethical considerations. So governments are really preparing for that. There are also a few more ethical considerations that have to do, for example, with autonomous vehicles. How do they make decisions? Okay, this is a very important, I would say, moral dilemmas there. I was reading about Kantian ethics the other day, and autonomous cars. These are also areas where, like, the industry needs to make really tough decisions, because there's no there's not always there are repercussions to making a decision X versus Y that we need to take into considerations. So a lot of ethical considerations, and I could go on. I discussed intellectual property, ethics that have to do with research, you name it. A lot of those considerations, and we need to start preparing for them.
In fact, there is a fun part. As you mentioned, the autonomous vehicles. For example, if this happens that an autonomous vehicle makes an accident, who will be responsible? Will
Exactly.
Elon Musk be responsible, or Sam Altman will be responsible, or what?
That's why we need explainability. We need to know how the autonomous vehicle made decision X versus Y, and its explainability is becoming a very quick these days in AI.
Exactly. So, Milady, what role do startups play in driving AI-driven disruptive innovations, and how can they compete with the large corporations?
Look, startups are always agile. They are fast movers. They are innovative by like nature, by DNA. Okay, they are innovative by DNA. They are fast movers, agile. They take risks. It's easier for them to take risks, right, than a big company established and has like a stock market behind, right? And usually they specialize in a very niche. Okay, they specialize in an area where it can give them like the real time to market opportunity. So startups are playing a big role, and we have seen some of the companies that are very successful today, like OpenAI, that we discussed about Altman before. These are startups, right? These are companies who started as a startup. And of course, now they have a big valuation and they received a lot of funding. So startups are really playing a very important role. I have to say that in 2023, which is not a good year for startup funding, AI startups managed to get 4 billion of funding in the first half of 2023. So while total funding is declining, AI startups are getting a lot of funding these days. So there's a lot of promise in that space. And actually, we are collaborating. We at Microsoft are collaborating with some of very important and very interesting startups in that space. Now, competing with large corporations, I have to say, I'm not very fan of competing startups and corporations. I believe that we discussed how startups and corporations can compete, but I really want to think about collaboration rather than competition. Okay, I do believe that there is opportunity for big corporations to really leverage and learn a lot from startups, and for startups as well to really scale and specialize their solutions by building partnerships. So I'm a really big believer, I'm a big believer in partnering here rather than competing. Okay. So from competition, I would say, to collaboration, from own risks to shared risks, from innovation to innovation scale, from innovation to commercialization of innovation. I think we have a lot of opportunity to collaborate, whether we're talking about Microsoft, other industries, or like corporates in other industries. There's a lot of opportunity to collaborate. My biggest example and my favorite example of collaboration is with the COVID vaccine, when Pfizer collaborated with BioNTech. The technology of BioNTech, the innovation of BioNTech, and the muscle and power of Pfizer, and the ability to deliver globally the vaccine. What a nice collaboration. I think we can have that level of collaboration more between with corporates and startups. So I will not answer how we compete.
All right.
I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, exactly. I don't. Thank you. So, Milady, uh, what would you like to advise to the professionals to survive for their jobs and to get ready for the AI powered jobs?
I think, first of all, to the professionals, I mentioned World Economic Forum many times today, but they have some really nice studies about how the work landscape is evolving in the era of AI. And one of the things that they mention is that professionals will be called to change profession several times during their work life, and we need to build skills like curiosity. We need to build skills like critical thinking. We need to build skills like problem solving, agility, in order to really survive. So my advice to professionals to really understand your domain, but also understand how your work really evolves in the landscape around you. Okay? How the world is changing, how AI or any new evolution, technology revolution changes the landscape, and really build your skills, really keep building your and be agile, be ready to change. I think we live in an era where we have a lot of abundance. We have abundance in learning opportunities. Imagine how many webinars, how many podcasts like this, how many online trainings, etc. all of us have access to today. Okay, so plenty of opportunity for any professional to really learn and acquire new skills. Okay, there's plenty of opportunities to gain new experiences. There's and all technology now is really really democratized. Okay, every one of us has access to ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT in my work every day. So we have opportunity to really upskill ourselves, but we need to be agile. We need to be curious, we need to be ready to learn, and we need to really experiment. Okay, trial and error, retry, improve, succeed, and of course to collaborate. I think the world calls for more collaboration and for more partnerships, whether it's us individuals collaborating with each other and learning from each other, or whether it's companies, corporates and startups alike.
All right, all right. So, what advice would you like to give to entrepreneurs and innovators when they are on the first stage of ideating the problem solving idea, or building their product? Because you know that now what could happen is that they have think about another idea, but the technology has just disrupted everything.
Yeah. I think I would say, if I would say think big but small, I think that's number one. So yes, you need to have a vision. Yes, you need to have the ambition, but start small. Okay, start with a small project and ideate and iterate. Okay, iterate fast, fail fast, repeat fast. Okay, for me, this is the key to innovators today. So small cycles of rapid innovation. Okay, I think it's super important. Of course, focusing on the customer. I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs who were in love with the product but would not listen to the feedback from the customer. I think we need to iterate as well and get a good feedback loop from our customers. Customers are investors in our company. Okay, we need to keep them as an investor. We need to hear that guidance. We need to to understand what would drive them into buying what we build. So I think keeping our customers happy and focus on our customers and the ethical and their user needs is super important. uh, skills of the team. We need diverse teams to work with AI. We need high professionals. So build the skills of the team. I would say collaborate more and learn more. Collaborate with the industry. Collaborate with players, and get good advice and good um, use cases, more expanded use cases sometimes. And of course, one practical thing, make sure your data are good, because AI really relies on the quality of the data you feed. So data is the king. Make sure that the data are of best quality so that you can get best quality AI outputs.
All right. So, you know, Milady, since generative AI has started to create a very amazing stuff, now at this moment, how do you differentiate between the human creativity and the AI creativity?
Ah, nice one. I don't know. I'm trying to test this as well sometimes. I remember here with your question, Alan, words that is intelligent if it can deceive, the some it is human, right? What produced was produced by a human. I think we're getting slowly or fast into that space of comparing human with generated content. Of course, we're far from that. There's still a lot more, but we're getting there. And I have to say that the more these models are evolved, the more it will be an interesting journey for us. But yes, it's a consideration.
All right. Is the last question. In fact, not the question, but first of all, let me thank you for joining the show. And trust me, it was really deep and insightful. And I'm sure that my podcast audience will learn a lot out of this podcast. In the last, Milady, what one message would you like to give to my audience, which are uh, teachers, educators, startup founders, entrepreneurs, business community, education community, any inspiring message that could change their life?
I think I will use here Arthur Clarke's words that any sophisticated technology is like magic, right? So for me, we are living in magical times. We are having at our hands technology that is democratized. It's available. It's powerful, super powerful, and it can change the world to the better place. So it's on us, the educators, the students, the entrepreneurs, the industry, to really make the best use of this technology. So my urge to everyone is make this world a better place by leveraging AI.